Welcome back to Unmolding Science. What if your thoughts aren't just electrical impulses, but whispers from a quantum realm? Imagine if consciousness isn't confined to your brain, but is an invisible field weaving through the universe. Close your eyes for a moment. What if every conscious experience you've ever had, every thought, every feeling, every memory, isn't just in your head, but a ripple in a cosmic quantum field? This isn't science fiction. It's a revolutionary theory that could fundamentally alter everything you believe about reality, your existence, and even the afterlife. This mind-bending possibility challenges everything we thought we knew about the universe and ourselves, opening doors to unimaginable implications about life, death, and reality itself. This is a journey into the deepest questions of existence, a provocative thought experiment that pushes the boundaries of modern science. Our journey begins with the most profound cosmic question: what is consciousness? For all of our scientific and philosophical progress, the nature of consciousness remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries. We understand the physical brain in incredible detail. We can map the neural pathways that light up when we feel joy or see a color. We can track the chemical reactions that govern our moods and memories. But none of these physical processes can explain the one thing that truly matters: the subjective, internal experience of being. Why does it feel like something to be you? Why is the color red not just a wavelength of light, but a vibrant, personal sensation? This is what philosophers call the hard problem of consciousness. It's the gap between the physical mechanics of the brain and the non-physical quality of subjective experience. And the current mainstream scientific view has no good answer. The consensus is that consciousness simply emerges from the complexity of the brain, but this fails to explain how or why. This impasse has led a number of daring thinkers to ask a radical question. What if the answer isn't in the brain at all, but in the very fabric of reality itself? This is where we must bridge worlds. This is where consciousness meets quantum physics. To understand this revolutionary idea, we must first briefly touch on a few core concepts of the quantum realm, the bizarre world of the smallest particles. The first is superposition, the idea that a particle can exist in all possible states at once. It's only when we observe or measure the particle that it is forced to choose one single state. The second is entanglement, a phenomenon where two or more particles become linked, sharing the same fate no matter how far apart they are. If you measure the state of one particle, you instantly know the state of the other, no matter if it's across the room or across the galaxy. This defies classical physics and the speed of light. Mainstream science has historically been very reluctant to link these quantum concepts to consciousness, because quantum effects are thought to only occur on the tiniest scales in cold, isolated environments, far from the warm, wet, noisy environment of the human brain. But a number of pioneering scientists and philosophers have bravely argued that this divide is a false one. They believe that the answers to consciousness are hidden in the quantum architecture of the brain itself. This leads us to one of the most compelling and controversial theories in modern science: orchestrated objective reduction, or Orch OR. This theory was put forth by two brilliant minds, physicist Roger Penrose and anesthesiologist Stuart Hameroff. Their theory is a direct challenge to the mainstream view. They propose that consciousness is not a product of classical brain computation, but of a quantum process occurring within the brain's neurons. They point to tiny, hollow protein tubes inside every brain cell called microtubules. These microtubules are essential for the structure and transport within neurons, but Hameroff and Penrose argue they have a deeper, more fundamental purpose. They suggest that the internal structure of these microtubules is perfectly suited for quantum processing. According to their theory, the quantum states of particles within the microtubules enter into a superposition, existing in multiple states at once. When these quantum states reach a specific threshold, a moment of objective reduction occurs, causing the superposition to collapse into a single state. Penrose argues that this is the moment of conscious awareness, a conscious event occurring within the universe's own geometry. Hameroff further suggests that this process is orchestrated by the cell's internal structure, a symphony of quantum events that creates our moment-to-moment consciousness. While this theory is highly speculative and has not yet been experimentally verified, it offers a compelling explanation for the instantaneous, non-local nature of some conscious experiences, and provides a scientific framework for a truly mind-bending possibility. If consciousness is indeed a quantum field, the implications beyond the brain are truly profound. The first is that consciousness might not be a byproduct of the brain at all, but a fundamental property of the universe, like gravity or electromagnetism. If this is true, then everything from a tree to a rock to a galaxy has a primitive form of consciousness. Our own consciousness would simply be a highly evolved and organized version of this fundamental field. This idea could fundamentally alter our understanding of the cosmos and our place within it. Second, it raises the incredible possibility that consciousness could exist independently of biological forms, or even survive the death of the body. According to this theory, the death of the body would not mean the end of consciousness, but rather a moment of objective reduction in which the quantum information field of our brains simply returns to the larger cosmic field returning to the universe. This provides a scientific framework for concepts that were once purely spiritual, like the afterlife or the nature of the soul. It could also drastically alter our understanding of free will. If our decisions are governed by quantum events in the brain, then our choices are not strictly deterministic. They are subject to the inherent randomness and uncertainty of the quantum world. Our perception of reality itself might also be just a limited, biological view of a deeper, more fundamental quantum conscious universe. The future of consciousness is now a frontier of science and speculation. Researchers are working on cutting-edge experiments using quantum computers and brain scanning technology to test these ideas. While the challenges are immense, the potential rewards are immeasurable. This paradigm shift would also force us to address major ethical and societal considerations. If consciousness is a quantum field, can a classical AI ever be truly conscious? Or would it be a mere shadow of true awareness? This could redefine our relationship with the AI we are building. It could also bridge the long-standing gap between science and spiritual beliefs, offering a unified theory of the cosmos that includes a role for consciousness. This thought experiment encourages us all to ponder our own place in a potentially quantum-conscious universe. It asks us to look inward and consider the whispers of our own existence. Regardless of whether these theories are proven to be true, the very act of asking these questions pushes the boundaries of human knowledge and reminds us of the profound mysteries that still lie at the heart of our reality. If this video made you think, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Unmolding Science for more mind-bending facts. We'll see you next time.